And more than likely one of the most elaborate setups we've ever done. Welcome to UPNC Park here in Erie, Pennsylvania. I'm Riley Casella, it's Chris Brown, and welcome to another episode of Tiger Mind Report on the road this time. And if anybody's listening out there, let us know how the audio quality is, because this is the first time we've ever done anything like this, Chris. I have my iPad right there that I got as a present. I have my phone as your camera.
That's what
and
I'm
I got my
looking at.
laptop.
It's funny. I'm looking down at these people. They're taking BP, the Somerset Patriots, right now, and I was looking down. I'm like, that dude is 8 feet tall, and no, he's just standing on a platform. But I couldn't see it, so I was like, oh man, who's this guy? I got to look at the roster right now. They got a very talented prospect in Jason Dominguez, but I don't know beyond that. I know the Yankees had a bunch of good guys come through AA this year, but some of them were traded, some of them moved up. So it'll be interesting to see this. But yeah, it's exciting to be here for sure. This is first time Erie has ever been in the championship series in the Eastern League, I believe. And yeah, I think the crowd will begin filing in when they open the gates in about, half an hour? They usually open the gates about an hour before tip-off, if you will.
Yeah, that's the case here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is the first time the Erie, like you mentioned earlier, the Seawolves being in the postseason or the championship, but it was the Erie Sailors. And again, I'll have to look at who tweeted that earlier, that information, that great tidbit out there. But if anybody, first and foremost, for anybody watching, thank you so much for watching. And secondly, I'm just nervous how the audio sounds, Chris. So let me.
You're nervous about it?
Yeah, just fill the airtime for a moment while I figure that out.
Okay. No, well, because I can't hear you really, but it's they're rocking us out with what is this, Billy Squire?
Yeah, Billy Squire.
Billy Squire. Stroke. Yeah, this is not the video that ended his career though, right? That was
no.
No.
No, I know what video you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, the Tigers have been rough for 6 years now?
Correct.
And they kind of competed in 2016. This year was a disaster. This is, the Whitecaps have gone to the playoffs several times, but this is the first time here in Erie in a long time, and it's kind of cool to feel that feeling again. It's I think it's probably sort of a smaller feeling that we would kind of get when the Tigers make the playoffs again, if they ever make the playoffs again. I think they will, but there's a lot of excitement in the air. The city has embraced the team. They moved the game up from Sunday to today because of rain in the forecast, and as a result, Pennsylvania, they love their towels. They love waving towels about. I don't know if that started with Pittsburgh or the Steelers or what, but they were going to have some towels. They were ordering them for all the fans here, but they were going to be here tomorrow. They had to move the game up, so they're asking everybody to bring their own towels. There's certain, hand towel size, a washcloth, if you will. So if anybody's coming to the game and watching this by any chance, and you didn't see that, bring some washcloths, bring some towels, wave them around.
Audio sounds good.
All right, it sounds good. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure before we wait any further. But yeah, as far as the weather goes, it was supposed to be cloudy all day, but then you did see a little bit of rain coming into the forecast, and it looks like there might be some sprinkles before the game. 70% chance, according to, if anyone has an iPhone, the weather app there, but we shall see what happens. But nevertheless, yeah, it's a little bit breezy. Fall's finally kicking in, Chris. I love fall. This is hoodie weather.
This is, yes. I love wearing hoodies. I wear them in the summer.
Austin Wells, by the way.
There you go. Okay, yeah, he's a prospect. Yeah. First rounder, I think, a couple years ago.
Yeah. Saw him down in Lakeland.
Yeah, you saw. That's right. He's a catcher slash kind of first baseman. Where did he go? He went to Arizona, right? I think that's
correct. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you don't get to the finals in any league without having some talent. And so it'll be interesting to see this. And Erie, it was a struggle for them to get here in the first place. They've been terrific all year, but the way it works is the seasons are split in half, and they couldn't quite pull it out in the first half. And it was a fight till the end against Bowie in the second half. And really, unfortunately, Erie had to let Bowie lose to get in. They tried, they went down to Richmond where I want to say before this last game, the announcer said that they are 43-21 lifetime, or the opposite, 21-43 lifetime in Richmond. So they always struggle down there. And they went down there and they went 3-3 in their final regular season series, but that wasn't quite enough to win outright. They had to get Akron help with Bowie. But then they went down there this other day and took care of business with a. If you haven't seen the clip, I would say check out that clip of Quincy Naporti hitting his 3-run homer and really having some fun with it.
Yeah, and that was a moment where a lot of tension was still in the air on that because the week before in Richmond thought he was taking too long around the bases, and so that was where that whole tension came up, and the Hulk Hogan hand motion or Paul the Wonderful Orndorff, depending on your personal old wrestler reference. So that's where that whole drama came in, and Erie has played inspired baseball the last month or so. They won the second half championship, of course, is why we're here. But on a whole, this is a team that's over, in terms of over 500, we're talking, this is not a team that just barely made it. I mean, for the year, they're 80 and 58. They finished the regular season 80 and 58.
Yeah.
And on the wheels of, or on the strength of a pitching staff, we talked about Lee Solson, who set a club record. But
strikeouts.
The staff as a collective now has the team record for most strikeouts in the game.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, that's been the strength. I mean, they've been a well-rounded team all year long. You know, they hit for power, they hit for average, they walk, they steal bases. But the pitching, I think you're right, has been really the strength all year long. You got Chance Kirby, who was the team MVP on the pitching side at least, led the Eastern League in ERA this year, and he's kind of like their fifth starter, if you will. Like he started in the bullpen and moved to the rotation. I got Wilmer Flores going tonight. You know, he's one of the Tigers' top pitching prospects, top 100 prospects of Baseball America. And so that's a good place to start. But you mentioned Reese Olson. Unfortunately, they put him on the IL today. So his season is effectively over. But that may have been coming anyway because they used him in the first game here against Richmond the other day. But you also have Ty Madden. You know, he struggled in his outing against Richmond, but the bullpen really came through in that game. You had with Sawyer Gibson-Long came in, and then he got hit by a pitch, didn't he? He got hit not by a pitch, by a batted ball, and now he's on the IL too, unfortunately. But then Carlos Guzman came in and was awesome for 2 innings, and then Adam Wolf. And so it was really a nice illustration of how deep and how solid the pitching has been this year.
I mean, for Guzman, this is a guy who was at West Michigan, who was at one point in Lakeland, too. He was trying to figure it out himself. He was kind of, in terms of command. But he came in there, and it was ice cold. I mean, in the last month, too, at West Michigan, and Dan Hasty, the voice of the West Michigan Whitecaps, talked about this. Guzman has been a better pitcher. I mean, in addition, we all knew about his changeup. Yeah. But it looks like his other secondaries are developing in addition to matching that up with his fastball.
Yeah, and Guzman is a guy that, you know, he had some shine on him like 3-4 years ago because he was a converted position player, and you see the athleticism when he's on the mound. And he had a fastball that was running into the upper 90s at times. And in Baseball Prospectus thought he had like a 70 grade changeup, and you know that was 3 years ago. And he had some trouble this year as a starter. He just seemed like he couldn't avoid the big innings. But down the stretch, like you said, he seemed to get better. And getting him up here for this experience, I think, is great for him, and it's good for the team because it is a nice arm. And if they can develop him into as a reliever or a longman or whatever, then he's got major league potential. So yeah, there's a lot of talented guys here. They brought back Grant Herter, who was a 7th round pick last year, and he started in Lakeland, moved on to West Michigan, came up here, got knocked around hard in the first 2 outings, but then bounced back nicely after that. He's a talented left-handed pitcher. They were kind of using him as a bulk pitcher. You know, they'd have an opener come in. It was like Gerson Moreno or Elvis Alvarado, and then they'd come in with Herter behind that. And he was racking up the strikeouts, so it'll be interesting to see if they use him out of the bullpen in this series or what. But, yeah, the arms, they just got a nice stable of arms. I'm just trying to think who else we might see. If we're going to see Flores, they might have Kirby start, and then after that, I don't know. You know, if Olson's on the IL and Gibson-Long is, it could be Herter. It could be Guzman, maybe. It could be a bullpen start.
You mentioned, too, that Herter came off the IL today.
Yeah.
So, as far as who they can pick from the rotation, Chance Kirby is probably going to start game 2.
I would think so. It's the playoffs, so I would bet if something goes wrong today that he might be available out of the bullpen. But everything changes in the playoffs, right? This is a 3-game series. The second game would be do or die, right? No matter what. But
Right.
So, yeah, but I would think they would want him lined up to start the second game for sure. So if everything goes right, and we hope it does. Wilmer Flores in a do or die game last Saturday was excellent against Richmond, and so you have a lot of faith in that kid. And it's kind of funny because he's still 21. He's got all of 180 innings pitched in his career, and he's a top 100 prospect and seems like a steady veteran. So that's nice to have coming into a game here. We haven't even talked about the offense much.
Yeah, well, no, the offense is, I mean, there's been guys been stepping up. John Rosnoff the other night, who hasn't played much, came off the bench, got 2 hits, got clutch RBI, opposite field single in the 6th, I believe it was, and really gave that padding because down in Richmond, no lead ever felt safe, Chris. So there's always this tension in the air with that. But Rosnoff has stepped up big. Since we've talked about Parker Meadows since July 1st has been one of the best hitters in all of minor league baseball for the Tigers. Quincy DeForty, who's you can tell he's battling some sort of foot injury. He had that big home run we mentioned too, but he's also he leads a team in home runs. I think he leads all AA in home runs with 31.
Yeah, he might. Yeah, I didn't think there are a couple guys who have over 30 now in the minors, but I don't know if it's all in AA. But yeah, I mean it is a really solid, well-rounded offense. They, like you said, they start off with Dan Myers, who was a 2020 player this year, first in Erie history. You got Andrew Navigado, is kind of an underrated 15-15 guy, I think, this year. Their second baseman for the most part. And then Parker Meadows. Parker Meadows has this quiet kind of nature about him where he's had a couple hot streaks this year where he's gone like hit for power, but it seems like at the end of every game you look up and he's got a hit and a walk or an extra base hit or something like that. He's just kind of quietly productive. Deporty, like you said, great cleanup hitter. And now they've been great, getting great contribution from Danny Soretti, who was the Tigers' 6th-round pick this year, who just looks unflappable in the box. It's kind of remarkable how calm he is. This seems like a real low heartbeat hitter that, when you consider that he's coming straight. He spent like a week in West Michigan. So just his first professional year, barely any time in the low minors, straight up to AA, and he's performing. I mean, he's not hitting for a ton of power, but he did hit that huge 3-run home run a couple days ago in the first game here, the first game against Richmond. And so that's been a huge addition to the offense. They brought up Josh Crouch when Dylan Dingler got hurt, and he hit a big home run in the Richmond series of 2, I believe, but he's, for the most part, he's kind of struggled. And that was why it was kind of cool to see John Rossoff come in, like you said. This is kind of a role player for this team. He came in and got 2 big hits, and so you got Gage Workman, who could go bonkers at any time, lower in the lineup. They brought Corey Joyce back today after Corey Joyce put up like a 1,500 OPS in AAA for a week. He's back in AA now, which is, they're injuries. It just sort of happens. It's tough break. And I don't even know who am I missing. We got.
Well, it's because Gabe Everett uses the entire roster. I mean, pick a litter here. I mean, Michael De La Cruz also had a couple of big moments too in the Richmond series.
Michael De La Cruz, the veteran catcher.
Yeah. And I mean, it's all around. Daniel Cabrera has had his moments too. But I got to give credit to the way Gabe Alvarez has managed his team, because with all the changes, they've had some. They lost Kerry Carpenter earlier the year. I mean, he had 22 home runs here, and now he's on the major league level. Overall, it's at 36 on the year. And then you lose one of your best infielders in Winfield Perez, who came up and did very well. And they've been able to overcome injuries. And Perez has a back injury. And we didn't see him on the Instruct roster. Did you remember him?
I didn't see him on the Instructs, no. They lost Andre Lipsius to AAA as well. A couple of team leaders they lost. They who else? They have Bryant Packard's on the IL right now, and Dingler's on the IL.
Yeah.
We talked about there's a reason he was voted as the best managerial prospect in the Eastern League. He's good. We talked about it privately before about how, and I don't know if this is all Gabe Alvarez, or it's the integration of the information from the front office and Gabe Alvarez. But Erie has one of the best positioned outfields I've ever seen in the minor leagues. Like they have them moved around like you see in the big leagues. Shading guys to the left, shading them to the alleys, all that stuff. They're really well prepared. So yeah, that's how you get to the championship, right? You have talent, you have good manager, and you got good support. So I don't know, it's exciting.
Yeah, and this is again, and this is you can have Ryan Garco. You can talk about all the guys in development. There's the hitting coach CJ Wemsley, the hitting coach.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, there's Wemsley. There's of course Gabe Rivas. There's a bunch of people in development that have done a great job here in Erie this year, and it shows across the system. As I mentioned on Twitter, all 4 teams are over 500 for the first time in franchise history. And again, I know people are going to sit there and already said, well, Rogelio, wins and losses don't matter. Granted, but the experience of winning does matter.
Absolutely.
In a situation like this, you're playing one of the best affiliates out there. The Yankees AA affiliate, Somerset always does well.
Yeah.
And they're always winning. You see what happened right now with Tampa. We're about to win their 4th title.
Yeah, in the minors
this year.
No, it's no excuse that the Yankees affiliate and the Cleveland affiliate are always in the championship game here in Erie or in AA, right? They're good, well-run organizations. They develop players, and it'd be one thing if the Seawolves were like just a bunch of 35-year-olds or 30-year-olds or whatever. They've got a nice mix of veterans, but also a lot of prospects who have made big progress this year. You mentioned Mitchell Perez. He's not here, unfortunately, but Parker Meadows, huge steps this year. The pitching staff all took big steps this year. So it is important to win in the minors just for the feeling of that playoff chase, right? You want to instill that in your prospects so they know what it feels like. And, they would know what it feels like to lose meaningful games. They know what it feels like to win meaningful games so they can do that at the big league level when it comes time to. Talent wins out, but it's nice to have guys playing meaningful games. They're not, here in early September thinking about going home and playing FIFA or Madden or whatever.
So one of the things that I want to mention, this is the first time Somerset has come to Erie this year. All 6 games beforehand were in Somerset. And so I believe last year was like Somerset came here.
Sounds right.
Home and home. So this is a big game for Erie to establish because there were 2 and 4 on the road this year against Somerset. So a big win tonight helps keep the tension.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a 3-game series. You want to win the first game like crazy, right? You want to have two bites at the apple, as it were. But this is a Somerset team that was good all year long. They won 44 games in the first half and 39 in the second half. So they do have. I was looking at the roster. They have Clayton Beater, who we saw with Midland,
yeah.
The Great Lakes Loons. We saw him last year. They've got a couple. Elijah Dunham, who I believe was an undrafted free agent out of Indiana in 2020. He's a good prospect. So they've got some. Was it Jason Rosario? They've got some good players on this team. So it'll be fun to watch. And talent-wise, though, Erie certainly stacks up. They may have the edge even, but one thing to watch for. It's been kind of an issue over the last month or so is Erie's infield defense. They've cleaned some things up, but it seems like, especially in Richmond, I don't know if they were making that field out of Super Balls and hummus, but they just kept getting all the worst possible bounces at the worst times. And even in that final game, that Danny Soretti, we talked about it, he's been really steady Soretti, if you will. And but he had a couple of misplays, so it's just something to watch. They're good defenders, but the pressure comes on and defense goes through the slumps like anything else. So just want to make sure they play good, clean defense today behind Flores.
Yeah, I was kind of confused what was going on in Richmond. Every ball, and it was like second base was some sort of like Venus trap where it was like concrete or something. It was just jumping up. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's like we were trying to figure it out because like you come to the games and they water down the infield and they do it again during the middle of the game, and it was like, are they not doing that here in Richmond? Or and I don't know, you want to disparage the ground screw or whatever, but yeah, it just seemed like every bad hop went Richmond's way and every unfortunate thing went Erie's way. But you know what? Erie went out there and took it from them the other day, and good on them. So we'll see what goes on here with Somerset. They're the Patriots. Maybe they've deflated the balls beforehand, huh? No? Right? Yeah, that's a timely joke, right?
Oh, yeah, that's timeless.
Timeless. Over the last 5-6 years. Where's the beef?
Well, by the way, Marty in our chat, Marty wanted to let me know that we're relieving him of, he said, send help, MSU is hurting him.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to point out on the doll where MSU is hurting him. But
Well, yeah, I mean, we were riding out here in the car. We were catching some of the Michigan game, but we got here basically as the MSU game started, so we can't keep track of that, unfortunately. But we understand the broader sporting landscape, that people are going to be more interested in football. But this is the playoffs, man. This is Erie's got a chance to win a title. These guys
history here, man.
These guys will come back.
Let's go.
They'll come back 10 years from now. They'll come back 20 years from now. They'll come back 50 years from now. Greg Gagne with his walker shortly before his 90th birthday will come back to celebrate. Touch them all time when they're playing hover baseball. But
or with robots.
Yeah, robot baseball and hoverboards. It'll be great. So yeah, this is exciting for us. Hopefully people pay attention if they can. I don't know if it's a free game again on MILB TV. They've been nice enough to do that lately. The big playoff games have been free. So, and you can watch the Tigers if you want, but you're going to watch some future Tigers if you watch this game.
Or if you're in the area, come on down. I'm sure there's some tickets left, not very many. And this is from Mike Cooper on Twitter. This is the first time that the Erie minor league baseball team has appeared in the league championship series since the Erie Sailors in 1994. And that was the last season at Ainsworth Field, which, I'll be honest, I don't know where that is.
Ainsworth Village?
Field? Ainsworth Field.
I've heard, I don't know, never mind. I know the name Ainsworth.
Well, there's Flint Ainsworth.
There's Flint Carmen Ainsworth, isn't there? I've heard words before. Raj told me not to make him laugh on the show because he's coming off a cold and he's got there's some congestion in there. But we got some hardcore fans around here. Yeah, we got the gentleman just walked by wearing an Erie Darth Vader jersey, or was it a Stormtrooper jersey, swinging a bat like Al Capone in The Untouchables. So
watch it doesn't come up after us.
I know.
Yeah,
but it's I don't know. It's gonna be fun today, and.
We got the on-field camera right here. We're going to be on for just another couple minutes or so.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get set up for the evening for a 6:05 start as Warren Flores will take on William Warren.
Who is it?
William Warren, I believe it is.
Yeah. That's who's pitching?
Yeah, that's who's pitching for the Patriots.
Will Warren.
Yep.
He sounds like an author. He writes for the National Review.
And he has a pipe in a robe.
Will Warren, 23, yep. 8th round pick out of southeastern Louisiana. Nice. 3.91 ERA this year, 26 games, 129 innings, 125 strikeouts. Took a solid minor league pitcher. I don't know about his stuff, but I'm not familiar with him. So, but
we've been so focused on essentially Richmond.
Yeah, the Southwestern Division or whatever it is.
And we don't get. I mean, it's not often they go up to the Northeast to play. I mean, I know they were in Portland not too long ago.
Sorry, I don't know if people can hear the songs.
By the song?
All the songs I've been distracted by. They're rocking us out here.
This song's late.
I know that stuff. Who is this? The Plain White Tees? Is that who this is? Yeah.
Hey, they're Delilah.
I didn't really know this song until we had some guests come over to our house, and their grandkid is like 6 and sang this for us. It was like, oh, 6-year-old to do things. But yeah, like you're right. We didn't pay a ton of attention to the other division. Erie went out there, like you said, they went out to Somerset this year. Is Binghamton in the other division or not?
I think they're in the same division. I'll look that up.
You would think they would. Yeah, it's weird. They go out to Portland. It's like a 12-hour bus ride to Portland. So
yeah, and I think where it is, and again, I'm not. Okay, so I'll stop myself right there. I have no idea how in terms of the smaller towns in Northeast work.
Yeah,
I'm very not familiar with that at all.
What's up, buddy? How are you? You excited? All right.
Awesome.
Let's go see Wolves, he said.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So Binghamton is in that division. So it's Portland, Somerset, Hartford, Reading, New Hampshire, and Binghamton. And by the way, it's funny because you think of Michigan, Grand Rapids is a couple hours away.
Yeah.
And so what I was thinking about was all right, well, Reading's, Reading to Erie, how far is that? Because they're in the same state and yada, yada, yada. And it's 5-hour difference.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because Reading's closer to Philadelphia.
Gotcha. I wouldn't think that'd be 5 hours. Yeah, but no, it's funny. I was thinking we came out here earlier this year and we saw New Hampshire, right?
Yeah.
So and then last year we saw Reading. So we've only this year we saw Hartford.
Yes.
Or no? Who was it? No, we saw New Hampshire. Who else was here last? Oh, Bowie.
Who was it?
Bowie. The Bowie Bay Sox.
Yeah,
We came for the huge Bowie series. So yeah, we've been out here. I've been here 3 times, and twice I've seen teams from the other division, which is kind of odd, but that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, and for West Michigan, we did see for the first time ever the
Peoria?
No, never mind. That was the Lansing game I was thinking of one. The Marlins affiliate playing.
Oh, yeah. Not Beloit.
There's Beloit. Yeah,
Beloit?
Yeah.
You know, there's a South Beloit.
Like South Detroit.
Yeah, you could change that song and make it work. The Journey song by Born and Raised in South Beloit. Which
All right. I think we're gonna wrap it up here on this quick 30-minute podcast.
I can always find a way to make Raj want to wrap it up.
No, yeah, I'm trying not to laugh.
Hey, you know about sheepskin condoms?
It's bad audio to cough on the mic, and I don't have my mute button.
Fair enough. That's all right. No, that's good.
That's okay. But I want to first and foremost thank both Gregs here in Erie, the entire staff here. We just saw Elaine and Jason earlier. They are 2 young people. Wow,
youngsters.
I sound older. 2
youngsters, but I like the cut of their jibs.
Yeah,
they've got respective jibs.
They've been fantastic to us, the entire Erie Silly Wolves organization. Also want to thank West Michigan, too. West Michigan, Toledo, for providing us the opportunity to have press passes, and Lakeland. And, of course, the parent club, the Detroit Tigers, for allowing all this to happen and making that a thing for us. And so we definitely appreciate it. And it's, for us, a thrill to come out here and talk baseball and have a good time. And we got a Bills fan in the house.
Bills fan,
best offense in the NFL, too.
Yeah, they're coming to Detroit for Thanksgiving, aren't they? They're going to absolutely demolish the Lions.
Yes.
It's going to be funny. Well, it might be a shootout, I guess.
Again, I just want to thank everybody this year for a fantastic year. And we have a few Patreons who have been helping us out. But if you feel like helping us out, you go to our Twitter and you can donate to our PayPal or be a Patreon member, and we'll just keep getting out the content. I admit that sometimes I don't update the Patreon, but with all the stuff going on the website, it automatically should feed in there. So anyway, thank you again. And we might even hit up Toledo tomorrow on the way home, but it really depends. Honestly, we'll have to see. But tomorrow is Toledo's last home game, so you should check out the Mud Hens too. Well, if you're not watching the Minnesota and the Lions, which is at 1 o'clock. So, and also want to thank a big thanks to Woodward Sports, Adam, Stick, everybody over there for allowing this opportunity to happen. And you guys have made my year. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. For myself, Chris, do you have any final words?
No, man, go see Wolves. Not to violate my journalistic integrity, but go see Wolves. This will be fun, and thanks for anybody who watched. And let's have some fun watching baseball while we still can.
Yeah, exactly. While the weather is slowly but surely turning into fall. I do like fall, but not this transition because thus I get sick.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll see you next time. We'll probably do a post-game thing as well. And hopefully they come out. Erie comes out to win. So we'll talk to you soon. Have a good night, everybody.